Look, I follow comedic culture. I watch the comedians. I enjoy them on another level.
You are a comedian.
What I appreciate about it is they are invincible.
Yeah.
When I watch them, I look and I go, there's no point that you could do something that actually damages what they've developed, what they built. Like, you know, like they go, like, in any case, like Katt Williams could fight a 15-year-old kid that is his height and not do so well, right?
Everybody turned against me. Even 50 Cent turned against me.
Emotional.
You don't want him as an enemy. But I couldn't be shook, because I remembered I never done nothing to him in my life. Then I got offended. Wait a minute, mother. You got a head like a square. You would cross me?
Bruh, I need everybody to stop falling for the same trick. The second a celebrity says beef, y'all turn into unpaid promo workers. Trending, reposting, picking sides.
You're so dumb. You are really dumb. For real.
Arguing like you on the payroll. Meanwhile, 50 Cent over here typing, I put a hit on Katt like it's a movie trailer. And y'all like, oh my God, it's real. No, what's real is the marketing. What's real is the algorithm. And what's really crazy is y'all keep confusing strong disagreement with hate. Like nobody's allowed to call out weird behavior anymore. So I'm gonna break down why this whole situation popped off, why it popped off right now, and who's really winning from it. Because trust me, it's not what you think. Bruh, I open my phone and it is instantly chaos. 50 Cent talking about he put a hit on Katt Williams. Like we are watching a trailer drop. And you already know the blogs love a sentence like that because it does the work for them. Then I see why this even popped off. Katt just dropped a Netflix special and he took a moment to clown 50. The square headline, the even 50 turned against me energy, the whole vibe of why are y'all mad at me when I did not even talk about you like that? So the internet hears Katt's joke, then sees 50's caption, and everybody starts acting like it is real war. Think pieces, side picking, people typing like they got a contract. But my brain does this every time. I check timing before I check emotions. Netflix special buzz is high. Clips are getting chopped up. Everybody is reposting. That is prime time for a viral moment. So I'm not even asking, is 50 mad? I'm asking, why does this look so perfectly staged for maximum spread? Because real beef is usually messy and quiet at first. This is loud on purpose. And the second it is loud on purpose, my alarm goes off. This is not just a reaction. This is a move. Let me tell you the part that irritates me about the culture right now. We keep pretending we hate drama, but we reward it like it is our job. People will ignore a good set, ignore real talent, ignore discipline, then a messy caption drops and everybody becomes a detective. Suddenly you got time. Suddenly you got opinions. Suddenly you got a whole theory. And celebrities know this. They study this. They weaponize this because attention is currency and conflict is the fastest way to print it. So when 50 types hit, that is not just a sentence. That is a button. It triggers fear, curiosity, outrage, jokes, memes, reactions, and reposts. It forces the audience to participate. And when Katt names 50 in a Netflix special, that is the same kind of button, just packaged as comedy. It creates a clip. It creates a headline. It creates a response. It creates a storyline. This is why I keep saying the audience is the delivery system. The fans do the distribution. The blogs do the amplification. The celebrities do the profit. And then everybody acts surprised that it went viral. Bruh, it went viral because it was designed to. Now let's talk about Katt, because people act like comedians are just freestyling chaos. Nah, a Netflix special is not just jokes. It is positioning. That stage is power. Because once the clip leaves the room, you cannot argue with it like a normal conversation. The internet takes it, edits it, captions it, and turns it into culture. Katt is in that part of the special where he is talking about how everybody turned against him after that Shannon Sharpe interview. He's basically saying, I did not realize how many people would take my words personal and how wide the blowback really was. And then he slides 50 into it like, Even 50 turned against me, and you do not want him as an enemy. That is Katt doing what comedians do. They frame the room, then they frame the hierarchy inside the room. The point is not that Katt is terrified of 50. The point is Katt is calling out the pile-on. He's saying, why are you in the line when I never even came for you directly the way people claim? And this is where it gets clever. He is not responding on Instagram. He is not doing a long interview. He is doing it inside a special. That is a clean way to land a shot and keep moving, because the audience laughs first and thinks second. And that is why the clip travels. Now, 50's side is where I start smiling, because 50 is too experienced to be confused. He knows exactly how comedy works. He even said it himself. Comedians are invincible. He said there's no point where you can really damage what they built. And that is true. Comedians can survive getting clowned because their whole job is surviving embarrassment and turning it into laughs. But here's the tension. 50 keeps bringing up that old cat fight with the teenager in interviews.
Give the joke. I think those are the real tough guys, the comedian. I seen Katt Williams have a fight with a 15-year-old kid and not do so good.
Yeah, bro.
He still made a good joke out of it and kept going. And Katt Williams still can't win. I can't do it.
Me personally, I wouldn't take this level of disrespect.
Like it is a casual example. And I get it. 50 talks like a strategist. He uses stories to make points. But from Katt's perspective, that is still his most humiliating public moment. And it gets replayed every time someone wants to remind the world even legends can look crazy. So now Katt takes a shot back on a bigger stage. And 50 has to respond, because 50 cannot let a public shot just sit there. That is not how he is wired. 50 can do it, but he don't like when someone else do it, because it is one thing to be the storyteller. It is another thing to be the story. And once you become the story, the only way to win is to flip it into a move, which is exactly what 50 does next. Now we got to talk about that old fight clip, because that is the glue that makes this whole thing stick. The reason 50 can bring it up, the reason Katt reacts to it, the reason the internet keeps replaying it, is because it hits the culture in a nasty place. A grown man, famous, respected, still getting put in a headline next to a kid. Even if you love Katt, the optics are uncomfortable. And the internet does not care about context as much as it cares about embarrassment. Then you got the age argument, 15 or 17, and people argue that like it changes the feeling. Bruh, either way, it is not a good look. That is why it never dies. And if you notice, the moment the culture finds a clip that can humiliate you, they keep it on the shelf. They pull it out whenever you get too loud, whenever you act too untouchable, whenever you start calling people out. So when 50 references it, even if he thinks he is just making a point about comedians being uncancelable, he is still touching the one moment that people use to try to shrink Katt. And Katt is not dumb. He knows exactly what that clip does when it gets attached to his name. That is why this is not random sensitivity. This is someone protecting their public image from the easiest humiliation weapon the internet has on them. Because once the embarrassment becomes the headline, the truth stops mattering. And this is where the culture gets twisted. Because look at what 50 said about comedians. He basically said, they invincible. You cannot cancel them. You cannot really ruin them. He is right, but he is right for a scary reason. Comedians build immunity by walking into embarrassment on purpose. They say the thing you are afraid to say, then they stand there and survive the reaction. That is why humiliation does not kill them. Humiliation is literally part of their workout plan. So when the internet tries to use shame as a weapon, comedians are like, okay, and they turn it into a bit. They turn it into a clip. They turn it into a tour. That is why Katt can have the whole world see that old fight and still walk out like he the GOAT, because he learned how to survive being laughed at without begging for sympathy. And that is why celebrities respect comedians and fear them at the same time. If someone else gets embarrassed, they hide. If a comedian gets embarrassed, they monetize it. That is why this whole situation is not about hurt feelings. It is about who controls the story when the story gets ugly. So what does this mean beyond jokes and captions? It means conflict is the easiest business model in entertainment right now. If you are a rapper, you can sell a beef. If you are a comedian, you can sell a clip. If you are a blogger, you can sell a headline. Everybody has a lane in the attention economy. And here is the most honest part. It works because the audience rewards it. Not because it is deep, not because it is true, not because it is meaningful, because it is stimulating. That is why I keep telling people, do not just watch the story. Watch the incentives. Follow who gets attention. Follow who gets clicks. Follow who gets their name attached to the moment. And when you do that, you stop asking who is winning the argument. You start asking who is winning the distribution, because that is the real power now. So if you came here thinking this was just 50 being mad or Katt being sensitive, here is the real reason this popped off right now. It is attention economics. Katt needed a viral slice from his special. 50 needed to stay in the conversation. Michael needed to ride the wave into his own release. And the internet needed a storyline to argue about, because that is what keeps the machine spinning. That does not mean there is no ego. Of course there's ego. These are famous men. Ego comes with the job. But the bigger pattern is the play. The moment you understand that, you start watching celebrity culture differently. You stop reacting first. You start reading between the lines. You stop getting played by every beef headline that drops on your feed, and you start asking a better question. When they throw a story at us like this, what are they trying to make us forget, ignore, or stop paying attention to? Bruh, this is why I keep telling people, stop watching celebrity stories like they random accidents. Most of this is engineered, not in some conspiracy way, in a business way, in an attention way, in a human nature way, because the algorithm does not reward peace. It rewards friction. It rewards confusion. It rewards people feeling like they got to pick a side. And once you see that, you realize how easy it is to control a crowd. You do not even have to lie. You just have to drop a headline that makes people emotional, and they will spread it for you. That is power. That is psychology. And that is why I call it the game. Also, I'm going to say this one more time. I do not like a culture where comedians are forced to apologize just because somebody got uncomfortable. What is the point of comedy if the joke needs permission? If you do foul stuff and somebody strongly disagrees with it, that is not hate. That is accountability. The internet just got people addicted to calling standards negativity. And here's my question for you. When a celebrity moment goes viral, do you assume it is real emotion, or do you assume it is a rollout? Which one do you think it usually is? And speaking of that, I suggest you watch this video next, and I'll see you on the next one. Panda out.